Hello and welcome. This is Matthias 76. Together, we are decoding the deception, and we are here continuing our journey through 1 Corinthians chapter 2. We're doing the entire book. We're in chapter 2, and we're in this section where Paul is talking about wisdom. Spent a lot of time in the first chapter talking about the wisdom of God and the foolishness of God and the wisdom of men and the foolishness of men. This comparison in contrast, with the big point being that the spiritual and the natural, the spiritual and the human, apart from the spirit, they're not going to be understood. They're not going to be understood. What I want to do, because it doesn't take that long and this is all connected, I do want to roll back up to the top of the chapter and just read from there and then jump in there at verse 10 where we're picking up for today. And I, when I came to you, brothers, did not come proclaiming to you the testimony of God with lofty speech or wisdom, for I decided to know nothing among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. And I was with you in weakness and in fear and much trembling, and my speech and message were not in plausible words of wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power, so that your faith might not rest in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God. Yet among the mature we do impart wisdom, although it is not a wisdom of this age or the rulers of this age who are doomed to pass away. But we impart a secret and hidden wisdom of God, which God decreed before the ages for our glory. None of the rulers of this age understood this, for if they had, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. But as it is written, what no eye has seen, nor ear heard, nor the heart of man imagined, what God has prepared for those who love him. So the table being set here with the differentiation between the wisdom of men, the wisdom of God, and even to the spiritual realm, as we talked about last time in this section from verse 6 to verse 9, that in the spiritual realm, Satan and his cohorts did not understand what was going on, or they wouldn't have crucified Jesus, manipulated those under their control to crucify Jesus. That's what we talked about last time. Now he continues, these things God has revealed to us through the Spirit. So the things that those low and powerful, intelligent, evil entities could not comprehend. Paul is saying these things God has revealed to us through the Spirit. And the Spirit here is going to be the key, and that is capital S, Spirit, as it should be. For the Spirit searches everything, even the depths of God. For who knows a person's thoughts except the spirit of that person which is in him? So also no one comprehends the thoughts of God except the Spirit of God. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, that we might understand the things freely given us by God. And we impart this in words not taught by human wisdom, but taught by the Spirit, interpreting spiritual truths to those who are spiritual. The natural person does not accept the things of the Spirit of God, for they are folly to him, and he is not able to understand them because they are spiritually discerned. The spiritual person judges all things, but is himself judged by no one. For who has understood the mind of the Lord so as to instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ. Very deep, very fascinating stuff that Paul goes into. We'll just go back to these things God has revealed to us through the Spirit. These things that the world doesn't get, these things that the spiritual realm in opposition to God and His will does not get. The Spirit reveals these things to us. What an honor. What a privilege that Paul is talking about here. And it's nothing that is appreciated, nothing that is understood by this world. They don't get it. For the Spirit searches everything, even the depths of God. Think of this. Just wrap your minds around it. It's very simple and exceedingly profound. The Spirit searches everything, even the depths of God. Paul's talking about the Holy Spirit who dwells in us, who enlightens us, who gives us understanding. Think of what he's saying here, the magnitude of what Paul is teaching us. The Spirit that searches the deep things of God is in us. He's the one who reveals this truth to us, who helps us understand, who enables us, empowers us to understand that which our own minds cannot fathom, cannot comprehend. It is through faith, worked in us by the Spirit, that we are able to believe wholeheartedly things we cannot comprehend, things we don't understand. It is an amazing thing. For who knows a person's thoughts? He's just going into example here. For who knows a person's thoughts except the spirit of that person which is in him? So also, no one comprehends the thoughts of God except the Spirit of God. The only way to comprehend the mind of God is through the Spirit of God. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, that we might understand the things freely given us by God. The clear distinction, again, it's not through the powers of the things of this world, the spirit of this world, but it's the Spirit who is from God, that we might understand the things freely given us by God. What all is included in what's freely given us by God? How about salvation? How about His grace? How about the gift of His Son? All of these things that the world looks at and thinks are either madness, foolishness, or delusion. We understand these things freely given us by God, just as His Spirit is freely given to us. Do you see how, as we delve into this truth, as we plumb its depths, as we come to appreciate its magnitude, do you see how it just makes us, by the world's standards, farther on the outside? We're just oddballs. They don't get it. We're different. We're weird. We're foolish. We're deluded. Whatever it might be, whatever words they use to express their lack of comprehension of the very thing that animates us, that shapes us, that gives us our purpose. And then we get perplexed when we realize the world just doesn't get us. Well, it's light. I'm very glad that the world doesn't get me. I'm okay with that. I'm okay because I understand these deep things of God, that His Spirit empowers me to comprehend. This is Matthias 76. God bless and have a great day.